Hi everybody, today is our summary video for Wednesday, November 6th. I need you to follow the instructions on the outside of this folder on the very first page. So we're going to start our short unit called Plate Motion Engineering Internship. You're going to really enjoy this, I think. You all are going to be engineering interns for a company called Futura, and I'll explain more about that in just a second. Before we begin, I need you to, first of all, go to GoodNotes, title it PMEI, and that stands for Plate Motion Engineering Internship. And then inside the folder, there is a dossier. A dossier is just a fancy word for notebook. So this is your engineering notebook or your dossier. Throughout the entire unit, I'm going to ask you guys, hey, go to your dossier, go to your dossier. This is basically just a notebook that's full of different articles, different things, different documents that you need for this unit. And so I just want you to have a place for it. So go ahead and put that in GoodNotes. Do that right now. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties with Amplify today, so I'm going to be skipping around a little bit, but I'm going to just give you some background information. So first of all, you're going to be working as an engineering intern for a company called Futura. It's really important that you remember the name of this company. It's Futura. And you're going to start each day by reading a new message. This is the technical difficulty that we had, so I'm going to skip that part. Let's talk more about, there we go. Let's talk about what an engineering intern is. First of all, have you ever heard of an intern? An intern is somebody that will work for a company. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not. But the important aspect of being an intern is that you are learning on the job. So you're learning about how a company works, or you're learning how to do a job by actually being there and doing it. And sometimes interns will start by doing really non-important things, and sometimes they'll get partnered up with somebody and they'll start learning on the job right away. So it just sort of depends on your situation. I suppose a student teacher is a type of intern in that there's all kinds of learning that you do in the classes that you take, but then you apply all of that and you're actually on the job learning as you're going. So that's an intern. So the word engineer, we had some really great discussions in class. Lots of kids' parents are interns, or not interns, engineers. And so we talked about, we have one who is a structural engineer, we have one who's a chemical engineer, one who's an electrical engineer. So lots of really interesting job descriptions. But ultimately, an engineer is somebody who works to solve a problem. And it depends on what type of engineer they are, but they're working to solve a problem within that field. So if you look at the term geohazards engineer, what do you think that type of a engineer will work? What kind of problems will they work to solve? So we had a really good class discussion about that. And then we came to the conclusion that all engineers design solutions to solve problems, and geohazards, if you look at the prefix geo, that is, we've talked a lot about that. Hopefully you knew geo means earth or rock or geosphere. So a geo, and then hazards, something that is dangerous, something that is not good. So a geohazards engineer applies concepts from earth science and physics to help minimize the impact of natural disasters. So we spent a good chunk of time today talking about different natural disasters, and I've got some pictures here. So the first top picture is an earthquake and what happened as a result of that. The second picture is flooding. This one happened to be flood from the Platte River, but also we talked about flooding that was caused by hurricanes. And then, of course, the bottom picture is a tornado. All of these are examples of a natural disaster. And a geohazards engineer, his or her job is to help people prepare for that geohazard. So, for example, how do you prepare for a tornado? Well, first of all, you're watching the weather ahead of time, right? And so immediately, even before there's imminent danger, the meteorologists are going to tell you, hey, you guys, we're going to have this storm, possibility of some hail, thunderstorms, possible tornadoes. Let's be on the lookout for that. So already this is kind of like, let's kind of think about there's a possibility. And then as it gets closer and then we actually have a tornado, right? You would have the watch go off. A watch means the conditions are right. Be prepared. Be somewhere where if you need to take cover immediately, you can. And then we have tornado warnings. And so I asked the kids in class, what are some examples of tornado warnings? And of course, we've got the siren, but then also we talked about how you would get an alert on your phone for both a tornado watch and or tornado warning. The National Weather Service issues tornado watches and warnings. And so they are connected to your phone, they're connected to the radio, they're connected to TV. And so you would get these warnings before a tornado hits. And so then you can take the precautions that you need to take in order to protect yourself and your family and prepare yourself so that you can be safe. So we also talked about like in a storm, like this was a hurricane, the top picture was a hurricane. Even though there was no flooding, the winds are so excessive that, like the picture here, it blew down a tree. So if you're, just talking about some other natural hazards. So Hannah Wong is a person who works at Amplify, and she is going to be your project director. And she sent a video message to explain more about Futura and the engineering project. I believe you can watch this video in your digital resources on Amplify. So log into Amplify, look at your digital resources, and there's actually 2 videos that Hannah has sent out. And I'm not going to play them on my computer because the sound, it echoes, and it's just not good if I try and do a screen recording of a video. So you watch it. If you can't see it, let me know when you return and I will show it to you. So the second one, after she's done talking about that, I just want to make sure that you know what project that you're working on. And if you have any questions, go ahead and write them down. And when you come back to class, you can ask me about them. And that's about it. That's all we did for today. Like I said, I had that issue with trying to get the kids onto the workspace in Amplify, and hopefully that gets resolved pretty soon. No homework for today. Just make sure that you know what you're working on. All right? I will see you when you get back. Talk to you later.